It's time for Baby and Toddler Instructions with host Blythe Lippman. Blythe is a nationally renowned infant and toddler expert who has over 30 years' experience helping moms and dads regain their sanity, teaching them how to survive, and giving them the confidence they need to be the best parents ever. From sleeping to crying to potty training to choosing a preschool and so much more. If you're a parent, Baby and Toddler Instructions is the show you've been looking for. Now here's your host, Blythe Lippman.
Well, welcome to the show. Come rain, come shine, come hail, come snow. Like the mailman, I'm here. Still have this terrible cold that I can't seem to get rid of. But you know how I love doing my show. So I don't feel awful. Just sound terrible. Maybe it's puberty. Who knows? Anyway, welcome to the show. I'm so happy you could be here. Whether you're live or you're going to be listening to a podcast, I have two great guests today. The wonderful Connie Grunning, reviewer extraordinaire from Peanut Butter and Wine. She's going to tell us what's hot and what's not in March. Can't believe it's March already. And my second guest is going to be Cristina Wong from Peaceful Birthing. She's a certified hypnobirthing childbirth educator. That's a mouthful. She's going to calm us down after Connie gets us all excited about her contest and new product reviews. Anyway, I can't believe there was another big snowstorm in part of the country this week. It's time for it to go away. I'm going to start doing go-away snow dances. I feel so bad for everybody with all this snow. We did have rain this weekend here in Arizona, and I'm not a gloom and doom girl. I like the sunshine, but you know what? My flowers were so happy, and we really did need the rain. But guess what? Only 14 days until spring, so maybe nobody will get snow anymore. I hope not. Also, by the way, I want to tell you, unless you live in Arizona, this weekend coming up, it's time to set the clocks ahead an hour. Spring ahead, fall back. That's how I always remember. But my show, Baby and Toddler Instructions, is always going to be on at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That never changes. You know what? Arizona is the only state that doesn't change, so everybody else is going to go ahead an hour. Recalls. We did have one recall this week. It is called the Cork Block Stacking Toy. Small pieces of the cork can break off the blocks, posing a choking hazard to young children. They did about 720 sets. If you go to my website, babyinstructions.com, I am way ahead of the game this week, and it's already on there, the contact information, the website, the phone number for the cork stacking blocks. And if you go to cpsc.gov, you can see all the recalls. I do keep them up to date on my websites, but you can also see pictures on cpsc.gov, so check that out. Since I have such a wonderful jam-packed show today, I am not going to share tips from my books. Help My Baby Came Without Instructions and Help My Toddler Came Without Instructions. Maybe I'll ask Connie and Cristina to share their favorite parent tip this week. I don't want to put them on the spot, but Connie, I know if you can hear me, I might ask you that. You can always visit my website, babyinstructions.com. I always put on my favorite tips, and I have some on there this month about runny noses because I guess this is perfect for me. Maybe I should follow my own tips. Anyway, on that note, I would like to welcome Connie Grunning from Peanut Butter and Wine, WHINE. Connie's my guest once a month. It's first Wednesday of the month. I love having you on, Connie, because you keep us up to date on the greatest things. You have contests all the time. But before you tell us about what's going on in March, I want to send big congratulations hugs to the winners of the contest that you had on Peanut Butter and Wine. Because I offered my prizes were 2 30-minute consultations with me, parenting consults, anything non-medical baby toddler parenting. And also I was giving away one of my books. So congratulations to Melissa Weatherford, Liberty Thompson for the consults, and Alicia Oliver Lane has won a book. So thanks for entering the contest. Can't wait to talk to you. And you know what? All my listeners can get consults. Just call my office at 480-510-1453 and schedule a consult with me, either Skype, phone, or if you live in Arizona, I'll come to your home with your new babies or toddlers. So on that note, Connie, you're on. What's going on in March? What's going on with you? Thanks for being on the show this morning.
Sure. I love being on here. Thank you. My favorite tip out of one of your books is when Alice is 2, when she's having a meltdown, I don't try to outshout her. I whisper, and it works so well.
Oh, I'm clapping. You know what? That's one of my favorite tips. That when your
I
kids
love
are
that
having
tip.
it, they
Who
just
knew?
kind
I
of,
was doing it
yeah.
all wrong before.
Oh, you know what? We get right down there with them, and who knew? When you whisper in their ear when they're having a meltdown, they kind of go, "Wait a minute, what's going on?" You know, as long as they're not hungry or tired or whatever it is. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Sure. Okay, so this month, what do I have? I have yoga jeans. There's a pair of yoga jeans being given away every day for the month of March. I have Mofet watches, which are taught for the tweens because the watch bands are replaceable with different colors. And then the bezel on the top has scents like lemon scented, coconut, blueberry. It's so fun, and you can interchange them. And I have a little 12-year-old that helps me to do tween reviews. She loved it. She said every day she goes to school, somebody wants to smell her watch, which is very funny.
That's really cool.
I have my first puzzle. It's a 4-in-1 box. This is also a contest that we're giving away. It's bigger pieces, and they're sturdy pieces. So when you have the little toddlers, those little paper-thin puzzle pieces are not going to help you. You need something that's got a little bit of weight behind it. So these are really good. It has 4 different puzzles in one box. The pieces are nice and big, and then the first puzzle is, say, of the one dinosaur. Then by the time you get to the 4th puzzle, it has all of them together. So I noticed Alice looking at the box and then putting her piece down. It really does trigger that look and see, well, that's too big for that piece, so over here it goes. So those are
what?
Really great.
Also, too, with those little cardboard puzzle pieces, I mean, they go in the mouth, and then and they bend and everything else. It sounds like a great product.
The next one I have is a relay game called Pancake Pile Up. Now, this game is super cute. It comes with it looks like play food. It's rubber pancakes, a little tiny pat of butter, paper plates, and spatulas. And the kids pull a card, and it has what your pile-up is. Is it a blueberry, a plain pancake, a lemon pancake? And then you have to pile it up and add your pat of butter. So they're running, they're learning to stack, they're learning to read the card. This one's a great one, but this one ends soon, so you got to get in on that one really quick. And then for the baker, we have a silicone baking mat. Now, if you've never, my cookie sheets are horrendously bad, just bad all the way around. The silicone goes over a baking pan or a cookie sheet, but it browns both sides at the same time. There's no flipping.
You know what? I have to chime in on this because I am a baker. I wrote cookbooks years ago, and I love to bake, and I never had these baking mats, and what a difference it makes. I always thought my cookies baked evenly. You know, I have a neighbor, she puts one on her little toaster tray when she bakes like a piece of chicken. But I have to tell you, with the cookies and the desserts, it's worth it. You know what? Enter the contest or buy it, whatever you're doing. Is this a contest?
Yes, it is.
You know what? Enter this contest because you'll never want to bake without these mats. They're terrific.
You really won't, and you don't have to use hardly anything. We did French fries. You don't have to add anything, and they brown and crisp and everything.
Yeah, you don't have to butter the sheet, and it's easy to wash them.
Yes, it's just awesome. It truly is. Next thing I have is Lily's hummus. If you like hummus, I promise you, look for this one in the store. You will never buy a different brand. Try the black bean. The black bean has a little hint of lime or lemon in it. It's just, it's so good. My family went through 4 tubs in a weekend. I mean, I put it in tuna. Never have I ever used hummus for anything than just dip. Put it in, tuna and hummus together. Delicious.
We'll have to try that. I love hummus.
And then also I'm giving away 1 year of iParent TV. Now, you may, especially if you're not very up on electronics and where your kids are going, you need iParent TV. It's going to be able to tell you what is if this is appropriate for your child. It's a 1-year subscription that you'll win. You really need to go in and look at that one. That one is really great for parents. And then I have a couple of really good, I went in with a couple of really great bloggers, and we have a $600 PayPal giveaway. And I also have another $100 giveaway coming that's up right now, and I have another big money giveaway coming up starting, I think it's tomorrow or the next day.
I have a question. When you go and enter the contest, it asks for your email. Do you need to go in and join the other things? You know, a list comes. Can you tell the listeners how you do this?
Oh, okay. Well, let's do it. Let's do my first puzzle.
So we have about 1 minute left. So
okay, you just go in. There's a giveaway widget on there, and it'll tell you you're going to put in your name and your address. Now, only I am going to see your name and your email address. So you're going to go in there. If the company says they want you to go to their Facebook page, you have to do that. If there's nothing you have to do, then you do as many or as few of those entries as you want. It's all very easy. Just click the green button, the white button that says click to begin, and it will pop up what you have to do. And usually it's just a little button that you have to click, and it takes you right there, and it's entered and safely tucked away in the giveaway tools.
It's so easy. You know, I have to ask you, and I don't know if this is next on your list, but you have to tell me about the Whiplash Eyelash Curler.
Oh, man, this thing is nice. It's very nice. It fits all eyelashes. I have not lost a single eyelash since I've started using this. And it even comes with 10 replacements.
And they're pink. We women like
and it's
pink. I'm looking on your site. You have so many great things.
And tomorrow I have a 3D fiber lash giveaway coming. This will make your eyelashes pop 300 times more.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait to go see this. Well, you know what? We're going to have a break in just a second. I want to thank you so much for being on this show. I can't wait till next month. You have so many great things. We should have you on more often. This is so much fun. How's little Alice? She's so cute.
Oh, she's perfect in every single way.
Well, thanks for being on the show. And everybody go to peanutbutterandwine.com, WHINE, and we will be right back with Cristina Wong.
We'll be right back with more Help My Baby Came Without Instructions. It's Baby and Toddler Instructions with Blythe Lipman on TogiNet. We'll be right back right after these.
Do you ever feel like you're the invisible woman? Too polite to be political, too nice to be real, tame even though you really want to be unleashed? Like you're living in a fairy tale without the happy ending? Well, Cinderella has left the ball, and it's time to wake up and break up with our own self-imposed glass slippers and ceilings. Welcome to Le Chic Speak, the polite woman's guide to self-expression, with your host, Jen Duchesne. Le Chic Speak is the Woohoo Radio Network's resident radio show dedicated to helping women turn on their power and turn up the volume of their voices so you can be seen, heard, appreciated, and celebrated. Join us on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time for your weekly dose of Le Chic Speak with your host, Jen Duchesne, only here on the Woohoo Radio Network.
Are you stuck in a rut? Wondering if there's more than a 9 to 5? Do you ever yell out, "Is this all there is?" Then join Alaska Coach Keith's radio show, where we'll focus on transition, career revitalization, and freedom. Keith will discuss tips and tricks for developing and living to our highest potential. It's time we dusted off our dreams and became alive with purpose. Keith will share lessons he's learned from a 20-year study of career engagement, motivation, and personal leadership. He'll interview experts and authors who know both struggle and triumph. You may even get a chance to bring your biggest challenge to the radio for an on-the-spot coaching with Keith. Join Alaska Coach Keith each week. Conceive Believe, achieve. Heard every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Central, right here on the Rockstar Radio Network.
Welcome back to Baby and Toddler Instructions with Blythe Lipman on TogiNet. The hour for all moms with little ones to come for great advice, encouragement, and great ideas for all new parents. Now, back to the show with Blythe Lipman.
Well, welcome back to Baby and Toddler Instructions. If you just tuned in, this is my new voice of the week. Darn cold. If you're sick, you know what? Get better, because I am so tired of having a cold. I didn't sound so hot last week anyway, but, nothing keeps me away from the show. I love doing my show, and I have such great guests today. Connie Grunning from Peanut Butter and Wine, WHINE, was just on. She has so many wonderful contests, so go visit her site. Also, don't forget to look at all our other wonderful shows. TogiNet has such terrific shows on every topic you could ever think of. So let's see what else we have here. Well, next, I have a terrific guest. I am very excited about her, and I hope she can, now that I'm excited about Connie's contest, she's going to have to do something peaceful to calm us all down because we're so excited about what we might be able to win. Her name is Cristina Wong, and she is a certified hypnobirthing childbirth educator, which Christina's going to tell us what that is. She's been teaching hypnobirthing since 2007 and is firmly and passionately believed that every birthing mother can have the birth she desires. Through understanding the birthing choices and childbirth classes, every family can have the most natural and peaceful birth possible. Peaceful is the operating word here. Cristina met the love of her life in August 2003, and they got married. And in 2011, they used their hypnobirthing during the birth of their little precious miracle. She says that her labor and birth were amazing, and it's why she wants to continue to teach moms how to have peaceful birthing experience. Cristina is also a volunteer baby-wearing educator, which I hope we have time to talk about that. She has a master's degree from Arizona State and from Texas A&M University. And, I am so happy to be able to talk to Cristina, and I can even tell you my children are grown up in their 30s. But, when you're pregnant, we're all scared of labor and delivery. We hear stories. We see things on TV with women screaming bloody murder and saying bad things to their husbands or partners. And, it makes it out as such a scary experience, and it doesn't have to be. Just talking, to Cristina, she's just calming. So, with that, Cristina, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for being my guest this morning. How are you?
I'm good, Blythe. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited.
Well, we got all excited about Connie with her giveaways. Now you need to calm us down. Talk a little bit. Tell my listeners, what is hypnobirthing? Because many of us don't know.
Yeah, well, hypnobirthing is a childbirth technique created by Marie Mognan, and the basics of hypnobirthing is the premise. We believe that birth should be enjoyable and it doesn't have to be painful. So we help families with self-relaxation and self-hypnosis. We do visualizations. We talk a lot about letting go of our fears around birth and really just embracing the whole process.
So I remember years ago I had a family member, and she was hypnotized before she had one of her babies.
Yeah.
And, that was, her children are in their late 20s now. That was years ago. And I remember people saying, well, how do you know what you're doing? And, are you focused? And all these questions. But, when you learn self-hypnosis, I think it's wonderful for lots of things, not just delivering a baby. You get in such a calm state, don't you?
It really is. It's just being in a really relaxed, receiving kind of state. Self-hypnosis is something you can do for yourself. It's just calm. So it's not about, forgetting or disconnecting. It's actually about connecting deeper with yourself.
So let me ask, I guess this is a personal question. What made you go into this? Why did you why did you not want to go the route that other mothers do, the epidural and go to the hospital and the whole everything else? What made you choose this?
Well, that's interesting. I always knew that I would have an unmedicated birth. My mother did, her mother did. Just wasn't something, I knew I could do it. But I always thought that it was just going to suck, for lack of a better word. And then I met Sherry Gilbert. She's the executive director of the Hypnobirthing Institute and my mentor. And she's like, here's this book. Why don't you just check this out and see what you think? And I read the book, and it really connected with me. I mean, the idea that I could enjoy my birth experience and just love every part of being pregnant and having a baby just sounded so much better. So that's really what appealed to me, and it made sense. It made sense. We've been doing this since the beginning of time. Lots of women have beautiful birth experiences, and one of the key components is that a lot of our pain is fear-based. So if we can release that fear and really embrace what our bodies are doing, it can be so much more enjoyable.
Is that your little girl in the background? I love live radio because it's such great sound effects. No, it's wonderful. How old is she? She sounds so cute.
Is 2.5.
You know what? It's great. You know what? It's baby and toddler instructions. That's what we do on here. Don't worry about it. Let me ask you a question. If you decide to do hypnobirthing, what happens if you change your mind in the middle? Are you home, or do you have a midwife, or do you go to the hospital? What happens if you go, I can't do this, or do you talk the mom through it and try to calm her down? And
well, there's lots of steps that you can use hypnobirthing in any birth setting. So you can have a home birth, you can have a birth center birth, you can have a hospital birth. There are times where maybe mom loses her focus, or she just gets distracted and something comes up. We give her birth companions, so it can be the father, her mother, a doula. We give them tools to help mom kind of take some deep breaths and get collected. We talk about visualizations, different physical things that we can do in the room, and just how to get mom to take some deep breaths again, get that oxygen flowing, and help her get centered. And, some moms do choose, every mom has the right to make whatever decision she wants, but being able to find that calmer mindset can help mom make the right decision for her instead of a decision just kind of out of panic. So,
and I'm happy you said that, because there is no right or wrong, and we're women, and we ask our friends, how was your delivery, and what did you do, and some will give you terrible horror stories, and some will say it was okay, but when it does come down to it, it is your own personal decision, and the fear-based business is because you don't know, and
it is.
I have to say, I can remember, my daughter is in her 30s, and I can remember every single piece of me having her, delivering her, and I was in the hospital, and I remember being scared to death, and, I'm a baby person, and I dealt with people with babies all the time, but for myself, I was scared, but the one thing I can say, and this is so important, I think, is that when you actually do go into labor and go to deliver the baby, things fall into place. And you're not asking a million questions most of the time. You're very busy being focused on your pains, or your partner, or your husband, or whatever it is. You don't stop and go, what do we do now? Because I always thought, how am I going to know what to do?
And that is part of what we talk about in class. Actually, we do a little role playing. I actually give the birth companion some cards on questions to ask, so that everybody feels prepared going into the birth. Because, sometimes birth goes exactly as we envisioned it, and sometimes it, diverges a little bit. But that doesn't mean that you lose the essence of what you want, or that you don't have to understand going in. And that also helps alleviate some of that panic that can set in when things do change. So we do talk a lot about just how whatever decision you make, that's your decision to make. So if mom decides she wants an epidural, it's because she wanted it. It's because she thought about it, and they talked about it, and she's like, no, this is the best decision for me, as opposed to, I'm really, really scared, and I don't know what to do, so I'm just going to get the epidural. So
That's a really good point. What's the difference between natural childbirth and hypnobirthing?
Well, natural childbirth is just kind of a general term that people use mostly to talk about unmedicated births, and then hypnobirthing is one of many childbirth techniques to help moms achieve that. So
that makes a lot. Okay, so we're just talking about no drugs versus different tools, right? Okay. I want to share something because I am in a wonderful group called Toddler Infant Networking Group. It's called Ting here in Arizona, and Christine and I are both in the same group. Wonderful women. I share lots of things about the women and their businesses many times on my show. But Cristina gave a presentation, and she did this wonderful. What do you want to call it?
Well, we did. It was kind of a visualization, like a mind-body experience. We kind of walked through, and I'll let you talk about it because you got to experience it.
It was the coolest thing. We stood and we closed our eyes and we put our arms out, and in one hand we had balloons that we were holding, and in the other hand we had a bucket of heavy sand. And Cristina talked us through it. So it was the most calming thing, and she said, "You have more balloons," or she'd say, "We just added more sand." And she was talking us through this visualization, and we're picturing the sand in one hand. And then we opened our eyes, and it was amazing because one hand was up and one hand was down, and it had nothing to do with us looking at our hands. And I thought, this is so great, because if you really do concentrate and you really get into that place in yourself and you picture what's going on, it's amazing. One of the women in the group, her hand was way up. It was from the balloons. That was the balloon hand. But I can say all of us, our hands were not straight out from where we started. So it's making me calm just thinking about that. We're going to break for commercial in about 15 seconds. And when we do break, I'm going to stand up and do this. Not really. But I just, I can't wait to talk some more about this hypnobirthing, because it's fascinating and it's important. And, yes, we all come out with our wonderful miracle and our wonderful baby, but getting there in a calm way, there's nothing better. And on that note, the tunes are going to be coming, and we will be right back. So hang in there.
We'll be right back with more help. For help, my baby came without instructions. It's Baby and Toddler Instructions with Blythe Lipman on TogiNet. We'll be right back right after these.
Baby love, my baby love, I need you, oh, I need you.
It's time to uncover the inspired team leader within you. Overcome the challenges of hidden agendas and miscommunications that create stress and a lack of productivity. Project management expert Norm Prevost and connection expert Heather Hansen-O'Neill will provide you with a consistent infusion of inspiration and team strategies. In addition, your hosts will invite knowledgeable leaders to inject different viewpoints, situations, and solutions for an all-encompassing perspective on achieving winning team performance. Spend 1 hour each Friday transforming your mindset and increasing your skills. The Inspired Team Leader Show, your path to innovative ideas and action items you can implement today to create a more productive team and feel amazing in your role. The Inspired Team Leader Show, heard every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time on ABRN, the All Business Radio Network.
Evermore, people have the means to live, but no meaning to live for. These are the words of Dr. Viktor Frankl, the inspiration for the movie Victor and I. That's VIKTOR and I movie.com. And Talk Sense Radio, The Meaning Connection, with host Mary Simaluka and frequent contributor Alexander Vesley. Friday afternoons at 3, 2 Central on TogiNet.com. More and more people today are discarding their quest for money, possessions, and things, and are instead beginning a serious quest to find meaning in life. Until now, these discussions were historically in the hands of priests, ministers, and scribes, then to philosophers, psychiatrists, and psychologists. Now, These deep discussions are where they should be, in the hands of individuals, on the air with you. Talk Sense Radio, The Meaning Connection, with your host, Mary Simaluka, and frequent contributor, Alexander Vesley. Friday afternoons at 3, 2 Central, on TogiNet.com. Welcome back to Baby and Toddler Instructions with Blythe Lipman on TogiNet, the hour for all moms with little ones to come for great advice, encouragement, and great ideas for all new parents. Now, back to the show with Blythe Lipman.
Well, welcome back to Baby and Toddler Instructions. Sorry about my voice today, but anyway, I am here with my guest, Cristina Wong. She is a certified hypnobirthing childbirth educator. I'm going to get that in my brain because I have to read it to say it. A lot of words. And we are talking all about hypnobirthing and making your birth experience calm, and you're not going to scream and you're not going to throw things. Well, maybe you can throw things. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to let you know, my listeners, if you have a question or you want to share a story, you can call us during the show. The number is 877-864-4869. That's 877-864-4869. We love callers, so don't be shy. Call us. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Cristina, let's talk a little bit more about these relaxation exercises. I mean, the one you did at our meeting was terrific. What do you do with moms? Because I remember taking Lamaze, and I can still, to this day, if I'm nervous, I'll start doing some of the Lamaze breathing, not the dog panning piece, but the calming one. And, excuse me, talk a little bit about that.
So we do a few things. We teach several different breathing techniques, kind of along a similar line, where I walk moms through a couple of relaxation breaths. And one is an inhale to the count of 4 and an exhale to the count of 8. And that's something you can use anytime you need to calm down. I'm actually teaching it to my toddler to help her settle herself down when she's upset.
Doesn't she want to count, though, when you do it with your toddler? Doesn't she go, Mommy, 1, 2?
Yeah, I said, let's take a deep breath. And she's starting to get the idea of the counting. It's probably a little easier to teach it to my moms in class. We teach breaths, and then, like the visualization that I did at our meeting, we do things like that. I have moms, one of a favorite one is to have moms visualize, a lot of moms like to use a rose, but whatever flower they like, and they are this flower. And as they're in labor, as they're birthing their baby, to visualize this flower opening up and blossoming. And they are this flower opening up and blossoming and receiving their baby. So we do things like that.
Sorry, I was peacefully nodding off. No, I wasn't. I mean, that's a great visualization. It doesn't matter. I have to ask this because, we all have seen moms screaming on TV for years, and, they portray it as the most god-awful experience, and it isn't.
It is.
It really isn't because, whether you choose hypnobirthing or you take drugs or have an epidural, whatever it is, you can control things. And what do you do with a mom? Well, not what do you do. What happens if you have a mom that in the middle of it, she loses focus? How do you get somebody back into focus? Because I know just, everyday things, we try to focus and then the phone rings or something happens. And
yeah. Well, I can give you an example because I give like a folder full of scripts and we practice things in class. But I actually remember during my own birth, there was a moment where I looked at my husband. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't think I can do this anymore. And he held my hand, and he just looked at me, and he walked me through the breathing technique. And he's like, let's just breathe with me. And it was so simple, but because, that's what I teach in class. We took a class together as a couple. He was really able to be my support. I mean, that's one of the things that we do in classes. Give partners the tools to be a support. And that it was so simple that just that act of walking me through the breathing techniques again was really, I was able to get my focus back and get that oxygen flowing and just get back into my birth.
What about water births or women still giving birth in the water?
Well, I did. So, yeah, some women still are. Some hospitals are even offering it now, which is really nice. But you can use hypnobirthing, in a bed, squatting, in a birthing tub, wherever mom wants to birth, whatever position sounds good to her.
So let me ask you this, not that we want to get really visual on here, but we're women, and it's a show for parents and moms. And when you do a water birth, are you actually in the water? Well, obviously you're in there during the labor, but when you're pushing, does the baby just come out easier? This sounds stupid, but you know what? I know people want to know, including me. Is it easier to deliver in the water, or is it calming? Why do a lot of people choose that?
Some people really honestly believe that it is more calming. From my understanding, and I've done it once and in water, there's a few things. The buoyancy of the water kind of lifts your big belly up. So when you're having surges, we call them surges instead of contractions, the water's kind of absorbing some of that, if you will. And then there's also kind of the mental thing. Most of us like to take baths to relax. So you get in a tub full of nice, warm, relaxing water. It just helps you relax just that much more. And then some people believe that it's an easier transition for baby because they're, up until that moment of birth, they're swimming around in your belly full of fluid, and they slip out into a nice, warm bath.
So when the baby does slip out into the bath, and then we obviously pick the baby up.
Yes.
Do they go, oh my God, and they're screaming because it's cold and it's different, or are they calmer because they've come out in a calmer way?
Most hypnobirthing babies come out very calm. I can tell you from my own experience, my daughter did not cry when she was born. She was very alert. She was breathing just fine. But, you get that image on TV shows of babies screaming and wailing, and some babies do make some noise. But it was a very calm experience for both of us.
Well, because also, you want to hear the baby cry.
Yeah.
And I remember, everybody's so excited when the baby cries, but when you think from the baby's point of view, it's so different. I'm doing something new. I have a website called mybestparentingadvice.com, and I'm making it a question and answer, but I put some posts on there, and also another site called Bouncing with Style. It's from Baby Jake, starting from the day Baby Jake came home, and my last post was what Baby Jake thought, because he's now 2 months old. So take a look at that, and you'll see how babies feel.
Yeah.
So I started writing that because, we don't know, and everything's so different to them. The smells, it's colder. They don't have any clothes on. It's just so different. So that's interesting to hear that the babies are calmer. We have a caller. We have Rachel on the line. Rachel, good morning. Thank you for calling us. How are you?
Hi, good morning. Doing great.
Do you have a question or you want to share something?
Oh, I just wanted to share because I actually took Christina's hypnobirthing class. So she asked me to call in and see if you guys had any questions for me.
Well, I'm going to ask you, what did you think? Because, Christina, you've both done it, but what did you think? Were you scared before you did it, or did you always want to have your delivery this way?
Well, this was my second. I just delivered 2 months ago. And
congratulations.
With my first, I went the hospital route. I had an epidural, some interventions, the whole nine. And I felt like it just lacked something for me. It felt really impersonal, and my husband and I were both really nervous throughout the whole thing, and we wanted a little bit of a different experience for our second. So we looked at different classes to take for natural childbirth and decided to go with hypnobirthing because a friend had suggested that I read the book. And a lot of things in the book just made sense to me that, that our bodies, when we have fear in our mind, our bodies clench up, everything feels worse. We have that fight or flight instinct. And so this time, after taking the class and whatnot, I really wasn't afraid. I was a little nervous because I didn't know, how I would handle having a natural birth. I didn't know what the pain was going to feel like or what I was going to do in the situation. But I actually really felt excited. I felt really calm and just ready for what I was about to do.
Did you have the baby at home?
No, in a birthing center.
Birthing center. I'm loving this. Is that the baby in the background?
Excuse me?
Is that the baby in the background?
Yes.
I love this. I love live radio because, you know what, with Christina's little girl and the baby, that's so great. Well, I'm so happy you called because there's a lot of uncertainty and there's so many different ways to have a baby, and I'm so happy your experience was great. And I hope my listeners who are trying to decide, will call Cristina or, read the book and figure out if this is the way for them, because at the end we do all get, as somebody said to me, the grand prize. We get the baby, and whatever works for anybody, that's what's right, and you don't know until you go in there. And like you said, with your first delivery, you decided it wasn't for you, and I'm sure everything was fine and they did everything the right way, but we don't know. It's all the unknown. We're going to deliver our babies. Well, thanks so much for calling in. I really appreciate it. And enjoy your baby. Problem. Congratulations, and your other child. Yeah. You have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. You as well.
Thanks a lot. It's so nice to hear people give an endorsement, because so many times we'll see reviews of things, and I know we've all said this. We wonder if it's somebody just writing it that's from a company. It's so nice to have a live caller and somebody that's actually gone through this class with Cristina, and to hear how she had two different experiences. Because I know with my daughter, I didn't have any medication. And it wasn't because I didn't want it, and I wanted to see if I could do it without it. And I was very, very lucky. Don't anybody throw anything at the computer. I was only in labor 5.5 hours. But with my son, I ended up with an epidural because I was in labor for 22 hours. So it whatever works, there's no wrong, there's no right. The only right thing is that I'm very excited that Cristina Wong from Peaceful Birthing is with us. We are going to break for a commercial, and we will be right back.
We'll be right back with more Help My Baby Came Without Instructions. It's Baby and Toddler Instructions with Blythe Lipman on TogiNet. We'll be right back right after these. Girlfriended is on TogiNet. Thursdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, with your hosts Patty Wyatt and Lisa Jernigan. This show is your chance to share, learn, laugh, and connect with other women. The Girlfriended principle was born out of loss.
Lisa had recently had her mother pass away from cancer, and my mom was murdered. A man just walking into a room and started a 23-second shooting spree.
I think one of the things we both realized going through those tragedies that you can be extremely okay and be extremely sad.
Check out girlfriended.com and then be a part of Girlfriended, the radio show. Thursdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Central.
Your boyfriend or your husband or whatever, they don't totally understand that emotional side to a woman like another woman does. And I think that's so important, just to have somebody that you go, she gets me.
Check out the website, girlfriended.com. Don't miss Girlfriended with Patty Wyatt and Lisa Jernigan. Thursdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Central on TogiNet.com.
It's time to devote time to yourself and strap yourself in for a fun, down-to-earth, enthusiastic, compassionate, easy-to-understand discussion on the unlimited ways you can be all that you want to be. Join us for Bee Institute Radio with Christine McKee on TogiNet Radio. Each week, Christine will have lively and open discussions and interviews, share stories and case studies, and hear from experts on the topic of the week. Christine, a registered psychologist from Australia and published author of Be by Design, How I Be Is Up to Me, hosts lively discussions and interviews every Thursday evening at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time right here.
Welcome back to Baby and Toddler Instructions with Blythe Lipman on TogiNet, the hour for all moms with little ones to come for great advice, encouragement, and great ideas for all new parents. Now, back to the show with Blythe Lipman.
Well, welcome back. I am here with my great guest, Cristina Wong, the certified hypnobirthing childbirth educator. Yay, I'm getting it finally. We're up to the last segment. I can't believe how fast it goes. I think we should all take a deep cleansing breath. Are we ready? Doesn't everybody feel nice and peaceful? There's nothing better than learning how to breathe right. You know, so many times we think we're breathing right. And Cristina, I know you know this because of what you do. We don't take those deep breaths. We are just breathing so shallow all the time, most of us. You know, whether we're pregnant, we're going to have a baby, or we're a man, woman, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's really important to know how to even breathe right, even if you're not going to have a baby. So let's see. I did have a question about a birth plan.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody should have a birth plan, right?
I think so, regardless of the type of birth that you want.
So how do you know how to make it? Is this something in your class that you show people, or do people come into your class and say, this is exactly what I want to do, and you look at them and go, okay, I hope we can do that?
I get both kinds. I get moms who have already laid out, every step of their birth. It is something that we talk about in class for moms who haven't done it yet. But even if you don't take hypnobirthing, there are online resources. And I think it's an excellent tool to let your provider and your birth team know what kind of birth you want so that they can help you and support you. So if you want an unmedicated birth and you've read about different things to share, that's the kind of birth I want. On the flip side, if you know that you want that epidural and you've done your research and that's what you want, then it's good to let your provider know, hey, this is what I want. This is the kind of birth experience I want to have.
Okay, so here's the question. You absolutely love your provider. Been going to them forever, and they look at you and go, are you out of your mind? Do you know that labor really hurts? Why wouldn't you want to do it this way? And I've seen women that do. I mean, they're not supposed to do that, but, sometimes, especially, I have to say, women doctors, I love going to women doctors because they do share, honestly. And you may say to her, my doctor has 5 children. And I may say to her, well, what did you do to deliver? And she may tell you. I mean, what do you do if you have a provider that really doesn't support you, but you love this provider?
You have 2 options. You can, if this is a provider that you have a great relationship with, you can say, look, I understand that you have a difference of opinion. This is what I really want. I encourage women to do their own research and to share that with their providers and to talk about it. The other thing that I tell some moms is sometimes your doctor is a great gynecologist, and they are a good friend and they're super supportive, but they may not be the best obstetrician for you. So this doesn't mean you have to never see your doctor again, but this is your birth experience. And if your doctor honestly can't get on board with the birth that you want, it might be a good idea to ask them who they think would be a good provider for you. So kind of work them into the decision of, look, either, we kind of work on this together, or if you're really uncomfortable with how I want to birth, do you have a partner that you'd recommend I work with?
I'm so happy you said that. Don't ever be intimidated by your doctors. And even when you go the next step, I'll have parents tell me that their pediatrician, doesn't meet their needs, but they're scared to say something. We're all people, and we all have different needs. So I'm happy you said that, because it doesn't mean you can't go back to him or her after the baby is born. And it's true. A lot of people don't understand doing things different ways. That's why we're all different.
It is. We are. Doctors are human beings just like the rest of us, and they're very educated, and I am very grateful for them. But they still have their opinions and their biases, and this is, as a mother, this is your birth experience, not theirs. So
Exactly.
you have every right to have the best team possible.
So I need to say this because I promote the show and some of my tweets and posts that said labor doesn't have to hurt. You know, labor pains, we're pushing out a baby. And let's talk about the pain, because if you're focused, do you feel the pain? I mean, let's face it, labor does hurt. Or it doesn't have to be blood-curdling, screaming, hurt. Can you talk about the pain a little bit?
Yeah, I can totally. I mean, there is, it's hard work. It is not something your body does every day. So you're going to feel it. You're going to feel the intensity, and everyone feels it differently. The difference with doing something like hypnobirthing, what I'm hoping for moms to achieve is that difference between like a good workout versus like an injury. Like, man, that was hard, but it felt good, and I did it, and my body could do it, versus that, blood-curdling, I hate this kind of screaming. Does that make sense?
You know what? I love that analogy, because I don't want to mislead people and think, let everybody know if you do hypnobirthing, it's not going to hurt. But
Yeah.
it's not hurt. I'll tell you what, I don't know about your experience, but yes, it hurt. But once I had the baby in my arms, nothing hurt.
No,
It's like, wow, I did this. And you're so proud of yourself, because it's a workout.
It is. It's like a great workout, and there's this huge endorphin release when you're holding your new little baby in your arms, where it's just a love like you've never felt. And there is those are hormones surging through your body, taking care of you. So yeah, I never promise moms that it won't hurt, but I do promise them that with this technique it'll be much more enjoyable, and they'll look at birth. I always talk to moms as looking at birth as part of the experience and not just a means to an end.
Exactly. And, I'm so happy because a lot of the hospitals now do have birthing rooms, and they do have candles in it. And it's nice. You're not in a sterile hospital bed with a window and green drapes. They really trying. And also a lot of the hospitals don't even have nurseries anymore. You have the baby in the room with you all the time.
Which is, it's nice. It's great for bonding, and I mean, of course, we all want sleep, but
yes.
To have your brand new little baby right there with you, and I love that hospitals are really working with moms to be more supportive of the individual mother and what her needs are. So, and the baby's needs too.
Exactly, because you know what? You've never done this before.
Yeah.
And neither has the baby.
And that's true. Even if you're third or fourth baby, like you said, you had a 5-hour labor, and what was it, 22 hours?
Yes,
so
22
every baby
hours.
is different. Every pregnancy is different.
I know. My son said, I'm not going to make it so easy for you, but it was fine. You know what? He's here. He's wonderful, and it all worked out.
Yeah.
One quick question, because we don't have a lot of time left,
Sure.
but what do you do? You're nice and calm and peaceful, and then you go into transition, and mom hates her partner or her husband or whoever's there. You see all this. Does this really happen when you're that calm? I mean,
for most of my moms, when I talk to them about their birth stories, they don't. Sometimes there is kind of like that surge of hormones where there's a little bit of panic. But what we see on TV with the I hate you, and
I know.
I don't really know anybody that's done that in their labor. So, but yeah, there is that moment. A lot of people call it transition, where you're going, baby's about to come. So it kind of preps your body, and there's a little bit of adrenaline. But yeah, as far as the screaming and the hating, especially not when you're using all of the relaxation techniques, you're still very aware that there's a lot more happiness. So it's yeah. I don't think I know anybody that's hit anybody in labor.
No, and it's fun because they always put that on TV. And,
yeah.
But it is a transition. It's a transition, and you're getting ready to push, and you don't know how long you're going to push, and then here are the pushing stories. I pushed for 3 hours. Well, that's hard to believe, but maybe they did. And all I can remember is just being so exhausted, but so elated once the baby's there. Forget the exhaustion. You're just so excited. It's wonderful. So if people would like to sign up for your class or get in touch with you, where can they find you?
They can either call me. I'm at 602-430-6867, or I just put up my website. It's peacefulbirthingaz.com.
Well, you know, I will put that on my websites. Contact information will be there. And really quickly, before I let you go, do you have a favorite parenting tip?
Wait, sorry, say that again.
Do you have a favorite parenting tip?
Breathe. Deep breaths. Everything goes better with deep breaths.
That's a great tip. You know what, Cristina? Thank you so much for being on the show. Such important information. And you have a wonderful day, and I'm so happy your little girl was there because it really added to the show. It's so cute.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks a lot. You have a great rest of your day.
You too. Bye.
Wow, I want to just sit here and breathe calmly. What a great show. I don't know about you, but if I were pregnant, I would want to look into hypnobirthing because it just seems like it makes everything calmer, and what a wonderful experience anyway, but there's no right or wrong. So that was a great show, and I will put Christina's information on babyinstructions.com. Next week, my guest will be one of our wonderful TogiNet hosts, Sandra Beck from Military Mom Talk Radio and Powered Up Talk Radio. Sandra and I, Powered Up is with Sandra and Linda Franklin. Sandra and I are going to be talking about being a single mom, tips to make your life easier, how to cope. Sandra's just great, and I can't wait to have her share her information about being a single mom. Going to be a great show. Also, don't forget, check out my new site. It's not 100% ready, but there's some really good articles on there. I have experts that weigh in. It's my www.mybestparentingadvice.com. Also, check out babyinstructions.com, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest. I post all the time. You know what? I love social media, but even more, I love social media because I can share with all of you and give you my tips to make your life easier. And you can also call me, 480-510-1453, to schedule a consult. And I'd like to leave you with these little gems about pregnancy. Danger. Due to the influence of pregnancy hormones, I could either burst into tears or kill you in the next 15 minutes. You've been warned. And my favorite, women are quite simply amazing. We can make a baby, have a baby, and feed a baby, all without even getting out of bed. That's from Two Smart Mommies. Love that. So on that note, I hope you all have a wonderful week. Don't forget, if your toddler has a tantrum, take a deep breath or whisper in their ear. That's my tip of the week. When you whisper, they'll go, whoa, what's happening? Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.